Welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us today because we are going to dive straight into what is literally a vital, monumental paradigm shift in software engineering. We're breaking down exactly how to build robust Android and iOS applications using the Antigravity 2.0 IDE. Seriously, if you've been searching for the most efficient, structured way to harness AI for mobile development, you've landed in the exact right spot. We've got some fascinating ground to cover, so let's get right to it. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our highly organized roadmap for today. We'll start with the architect-first framework, move into the agentic development loop, map out the mobile coaching roadmap, tackle some environment setup realities, and finally, master the manager view. Section 1, the architect-first framework, shifting the paradigm. Look, before we even think about touching a configuration file, we've got to address the elephant in the room, a real psychological hurdle. The loss of the manual coding flow state. We all know that deeply satisfying zone, right? Your fingers are just flying across the keyboard, you're writing syntax, solving problems line by line. It feels great. Transitioning to AI IDEs like Antigravity means you are inevitably trading away some of that manual flow. It's a big adjustment, for sure, but I promise you, what you're trading it for is exponentially more powerful.
And this brilliantly illustrates that exact shift. You are no longer just a code producer, manually typing out syntax, fixing terminal errors by hand, and wrestling with local dependencies. Those days are gone. Instead, you're stepping up into the high-value role of a task orchestrator. Your absolute primary value now is architectural oversight, verifying the logic of your AI junior developer and managing these complex workflows. You aren't just writing the code anymore, you are leading the whole project.
Section 2, the agentic development loop, the new ritual.
Stepping into this orchestrator role requires a super reliable engine and a bit of discipline. Here are the 4 stages of the agentic loop that you literally must enforce for every single feature. First up, planning. Before writing any React Native or Flutter code, you define the app structure and requirements in Markdown file, letting the agent suggest the folder architecture. Second is execution. That's where the agent actually writes the code. Third is verification. The agent must pass unit tests, think jest or detox, before any code is ever committed. And finally, documentation, where the agent auto-generates the feature report. Enforcing this very specific ritual is what prevents the AI from hallucinating and keeps you securely in the loop the entire time.
So, the crucial point is understanding what we call context hygiene. When you're using the agent planning mode to architect cross-platform state management, like Redux or Provider, you absolutely cannot just let the AI look at your entire repository at once. It's too much. You have to teach it context hygiene by scoping the agent down to specific subdirectories, like your source store. Doing this strictly prevents the AI from generating hallucinatory or platform-incompatible code for your shared business logic. It's really all about giving the agent clear boundaries so it can actually succeed.
All right, Section 3, the mobile coaching roadmap, mapping your path to mastery.
This is our complete syllabus, completely designed to take you from foundational IDE setup all the way to advanced AI prompting. Just notice how we progress here. Modules 1 and 2 cover the essential IDE configuration and SDK integration. By Module 4, you're already tackling real-world mobile logic, like navigation and API integration, using a really cool human-in-the-loop approach. Module 6 gets into building specialized agent skills for custom automation, stuff like managing Gradle dependencies or generating platform-specific icons. And finally, Module 7. That's where you learn to truly act as a senior React Native architect, utilizing role-based system prompts to have the agent proactively hunt down critical issues like memory leaks. It's basically your ultimate path to mastery.
Section 4, environment setup realities, tackling React Native. Okay, let's just pause for a second and empathize with a shared trauma literally every mobile developer knows. Spending 3 agonizing hours just trying to get a blank app to build. SDK not found. Gradle daemon failed. Xcode can't find the simulator. Ugh, it's enough to make you question your career choices, right? We have all been there, manually wrestling with environment variables, frantically restarting our shell, and just crossing our fingers that the build succeeds. But today, we are leaving that manual nightmare in the past and stepping into the automated future Antigravity brings to the table.
To actually build to a real device, React Native absolutely needs 3 mandatory components. First up, Node, to run your JavaScript bundler. Second, the Android SDK for those Android builds. And third, the Xcode command line tools for your iOS builds. Now, a super quick pro tip for the Mac users out there.
Definitely use Homebrew to install Node and Watchman. Watchman is Meta's file watcher, and it makes the JavaScript bundler dramatically faster. Seriously, do not skip that step.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how simple it makes the Android SDK. That's usually the piece that trips everyone up, right? Because Android Studio installs it locally, but your system doesn't inherently know where it's hiding. But with Antigravity, you just export this Android home path exactly once to your shell profile, like your ZSH-RC file. Save it, and you're totally done. It's a one-and-done deal. After that, Antigravity reads this variable automatically every single time it boots up.
Next up is scaffolding the project. Notice we're using the React Native Community CLI to initialize our app here, rather than Expo. Why? Because we need full, unrestricted native file access for this course. This command creates those essential iOS and Android folders that Antigravity will read and write to directly. And here is the truly amazing part. We are doing all of this without manually opening Android Studio, without kickstarting a Gradle sync, and without touching a single build setting ourselves.
Which brings us to Section 5, Mastering the Manager View. Let the agent work.
This right here is the ultimate proof of concept for the whole architect-first mindset. The built-in monitoring panel. When you open the manager view, Antigravity automatically starts probing your system to ensure everything is perfectly bridged to Android Studio and Xcode. It tells you what's going on through these colored status dots. So let's break them down. Blue means it is actively checking the environment. If you see blue, do not touch anything. Just let it work. Green means the tool is successfully detected and version compatible. Awesome. Amber indicates a warning, usually a minor version mismatch or missing license. And red means the SDK is just straight up missing.
Which brings us to the massive, undeniable golden rule of this entire workflow. Watch first, act second. Look, when you see an error log or an amber dot, your very first instinct is going to be to pop open the terminal and start hastily tweaking paths. You have got to resist that urge. If you interrupt the agent while it is mid-probe, you can actually break its resolution chain and make the problem significantly harder to fix.
And here is the jaw-dropping reason why you must wait. 80%. The anti-gravity agent impressively resolves about 80% of all path issues completely on its own within just 15 seconds. It handles the detection, it reads the logs, and it fixes the paths without you ever typing a single command into your terminal. How cool is that? So, as the orchestrator, you just sit back, relax, and once those status dots eventually turn green, you run your build command. You'll get nice green checks on your Gradle sync and your APK install, which means your entire chain is working flawlessly. Your environment is perfectly set up, your project is scaffolded, and your AI agent is securely bridged to your build tools.
So I want to leave you with this provocative question to close out our explainer today. Are you ready? Are you ready to step up, leave the endless manual typing behind, and truly lead mobile projects using AI as your junior developer? It is a massive paradigm shift for sure, but the sheer speed and capability it unlocks are just unmatched. I highly invite you to take action today. Set up your anti-gravity environment, and hey, drop a screenshot of your manager view in the comments below. If you hit any amber or red dots, let us know so we can help you troubleshoot. Thank you so much for exploring this with me today, and I literally cannot wait to see what you build.